Alright, we just left our campground that we stayed for 3 days. Not sure exactly what part of France. Well, I know we're in the Normandy region of France, but I'm not sure what the closest big town is here. But it is a very rural area. There's a lot of farms and there's a lot of horses actually, so it's like a pretty big equestrian area. But we looked it up on this app Park for Night that we use in Europe, and there was a RV spot that this community, really small community, probably just a couple hundred people in the area, they built on some of their public spaces. They built this area on the corner of an intersection that is totally free. You can camp for 72 hours, and it has not just water but also electricity for free. And not just that, it also has a full bathroom with hot showers, really good water pressure. I think it was pretty new, probably built within the last year or two. So we knew that we were coming up on like a solid week or so of rain and some bad weather, meaning that we're not going to be able to sit outside as much, and also we're not going to have as much solar. So we decided to come here, even though it's a little bit inland, it's not by the coast, but it turned out to be a pretty good spot for us to be for a while. It didn't rain the whole time, but it did shower quite a bit on and off, and some of the rains were pretty hard. But we were in a good, comfortable spot thanks to this community. Today though, we're finally going to head to a slightly bigger town, and I got a couple of Amazon orders that are going to one of the Amazon lockers there. This is also a town where a company that makes extended range aluminum fuel tanks for spinners. We're gonna install a extended range fuel tank for our Sprinter van, and this town is where this company is located. We've been trying to communicate with them about buying a tank there. They don't do any installation, but they do sell them directly to the public. So a few months ago, back in March, I reached out and they said, oh yeah, just come by, or we can ship it to you. It takes 6 weeks. Then we knew we were coming to France, so I said, well, you know what, maybe I'll just come out there and then we'll just pick one up. So I emailed them a couple weeks ago, same guy, and he said, oh, you should have emailed me, you know, a couple months ago, because these 4x4 spinner van tanks are custom order only. It takes 8 weeks to fabricate. So I didn't have it in me to tell him I did. He didn't tell me that before, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. We're gonna go there, we're gonna make sure that we order the right one, place our order, and then we'll come back when it's ready. A lot of stuff is still up in the air for us. We still don't know if we're going to Ireland or UK or not. And if we are going to Ireland, UK, it'd be kind of perfect, because then we'll come back through this area in about 8 weeks. But if we do place the order and we have to be here in 8 weeks, I think that will make some decisions for us what we're going to do. Like, we can't really go up to Sweden and Norway because it'll be quite a bit out of the way for us to come back here. But you know, we may just go down the coast of France and then come back up through here on our way back. We'll see. A lot of things are gonna hinge on these next day or two on whether or not we order this fuel tank and have to come back here or not. So today's about a 100-mile drive. Still rain in the forecast. Still bad weather for this next several days. We're gonna see what kind of place we find to stay for the next few days. We're gonna be back on the coast again though. I think that part is pretty for certain. We're actually leaving this spot right now. We've been here at this spot for the last 2 nights. This is just outside the city of Caen, and it's a little seaside town called Merville, Franceville. It is probably about 10 minutes away, 20 minutes away from Caen. We came here because we went to the ACGB. We went to ACGB Aluminum Reservoirs, which is a company that specializes in building tanks, aluminum tanks specifically. We were researching different options for getting an extended range fuel tank for the Sprinter. The Sprinter comes with 95 liter fuel tank. It has been plenty for us for the last 3 years or so since we've been traveling. But we know that at some point we're going to want to go to places that have longer fuel gaps. So we started looking at the options. And I know that if we're in the US, we could just buy one from Agile Off-Road down in San Diego. I know they have one. My brother has one in his Sprinter. He has the 170 extended, which has a 220 liter option. And they have a 180 liter tank from Agile that I could buy, but it's $3,000 plus tax. I wouldn't pay to have it shipped, so it'll probably be tax in California, San Diego County. You know, we're probably looking at like $3,300. And I don't know if that includes installation or not. So it's quite expensive. So I started looking at options for Europe. What we found is that these sorts of van upgrades in Europe, for Sprinter vans anyways, is actually cheaper. For example, we got our diesel heater, brand name one, Webasto diesel heater, for probably half the price that we would have paid for them in the US. In Romania, we got them. So there are some options in Germany. In Germany, we asked some people around. We saw a guy in Germany. He custom fabricates auxiliary tanks that you store fuel in and you transfer into your main tank. So that was one option. And all that's made to order. And then we found ACGB, which is in France, just outside of Caen. And they happen to be the supplier for Agile Off-Road. So they make the exact same tanks. They make the tanks that Agile Off-Road sells. Instead of selling for $3,000 like Agile does, we're able to buy one from them for 1,100 euros, which is about $1,300. That's less than half of what Agile would charge us. Almost a third, really. But that doesn't include installation. So there's a garage nearby, 10 minutes away, that will do the installation for about 300 and 350 euros. So all said and done, we're probably looking at about $1,500, $1,600 for the whole setup, which is less than half of what Agile would have charged. So yeah, we're pretty happy about that. The only downside is that for the 4x4, they have to special order them, and they have to basically custom make it. So they won't be ready for 8 weeks, and at the beginning of August they're taking 2 weeks off, so we have to come back mid-September for the delivery and then for the installation. So that means that we're committing, by buying this tank, we're committing to coming back to this area in about 2 months, which I think is okay. You know, I don't think we're gonna make it out to Ireland necessarily this time. It's possible, still possible, but even if we do, it'll still be okay, because when we come back from the UK or Ireland, we'll be coming through France again. So that's our plan. So that kind of sets some timelines for us for the next 2 months. We were basically just here for that, but we're also here in Normandy. We're gonna go start seeing some D-Day locations starting today. And basically these last couple days we've just been here. It's right by the beach. It's pretty cool. Yesterday we had a couple of reporters from France 24 TV channel come and interview us. They want to do a 2-minute story on us on one of their shows. They are a couple of British expats that work for the France 24 English version of their channel. So we spent most of the day with them yesterday, which was fun and different than our sort of usual lazy day. But today we're gonna leave. We're gonna go pay ACGB and then officially place the order and make our way over, probably towards Omaha Beach. I think that's the plan. So as we were leaving, the little RV area. We couldn't get onto the main road because all the roads were blocked because there's a farmer's market happening. So we have a few hours to burn actually, and what we decided to do is park and come check out the farmer's market, which is what we're gonna do. There may be some food there, so maybe we'll get some street food, but the kids haven't been out in farmer's market with people like this, so they got their masks. I've got my mask. Once we get closer, we'll be masking up. Is this like new clothes or vintage clothes? No, it's new clothes. Oh my god, dream catchers. Look how you missed the dream catchers. It's kind of like a, almost like a flea market. Yeah. Instead of a farmer's market, because I haven't seen any food yet.
No, but I saw people carrying like peaches and stuff when we keep going down. We kept going down wrong roads.
But there's a normal fruit stand over there.
Yeah.
This is just more like this junk. We need fly swatters. Those are big fly swatters.
3 is not enough.
No, one of them broke, by the way. I swatted them too fiercely. Weapons, knives, kitchen stuff. Here's some food. We're coming up on some food, maybe. Raspberries, blueberries, some other. Oh, what are those? Lingonberries or something? That looks good. That's huge paella. That looks good, huh? Now here's salmon. Yeah, those are cooked. Those are already cooked. You guys need underwear?
No, we need shrimp. We need shrimp.
Yeah. Sausages.
We need imitation corn.
Oh, this whole thing down here. It's a whole thing. Oysters. Yeah, huge oysters.
Voilà. Et ben pour vous remercier, je vous ai offert j'ai fait ce
like a
petit
fondue
geste. Maintenant, il est
pot.
temps que je passe à la remise de mes produits.
Yeah. All caught in the rain. Walking back. It's a little bit better now than earlier. But look at you guys.
Just rained a little bit.
You guys are soaking wet. Counts as half a shower.
No, full shower. Yeah. Full shower.
Ah, don't spray us. We made it back. Well, at least we left the fan on, hoping that the cats won't get too hot. And then it rained. Open the door. You can open.
No, I am buff. I just decided not to be buff right now.
I see.
Yeah.
That's good.
Totally.
Well, I can tell you it wasn't too hot in here for the cats. I knew there was going to be trouble when he parked. Had a car full of dogs. It's okay, Toby. Was he freaking out?
No, I grabbed him right away. Just those dogs started charging us.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling, but
No.
his tail's big.
You okay, Toby? Go back to the car.
Let's go to the van. Aww.
Scary.
Butt. I know. Okay, let's go.
So we're at the ACGB aluminum tank company. This guy just showed up, and Marlene was out here walking Toby, and this guy came out with 3 dogs off the leash, and they just started charging Marlene. So she scooped up Toby really quick, and the dogs were like barking, went right up to her, holding Toby, barking at her and the cat. And the owner saw it, like he freaked out. He ran down there towards them and like grabbed his leash and pulled the dogs away. So that was pretty intense for a moment. And then the double whammy happened. As she's walking back over here holding Toby, a bee went inside her hair and stung her right on the scalp. And then like it was tangled up in her hair. So she was having to like get the bee out, and it was like hurting her. She has like a really big fear of being stung by bees. When we're in the village over the winter, we're doing some walks and hikes on these dirt roads, and a lot of times we'll walk by these beehives from the local beekeepers. And she got stung there once, and right after she got stung there, she didn't want to walk on the dirt roads again. So those is really bad. Double whammy. Dogs and then a bee. And the stinger, it was still stuck to her scalp. So I had to go back in there, spread her hair apart to see if I can find the stinger. And I pulled the stinger out with tweezers. I think she's okay now. She's gonna take some Tylenol. We are back here to place the order. So I want to kind of give you guys a little bit more info on this ACGB situation. They're not necessarily a place. They don't have a retail office or anything. So it's not like you just come here and buy a tank from a store and then you take it away or anything. This is kind of a unique situation. It's not like, it's also, they're not offering us any kind of special deals either. They do sell to the public, but it's not their primary way of doing business. They do sell to in quantities to resellers mostly, and for me, you know, they do have a they send me a price list that shows what the prices are for a single unit, for 1 to 10 and 10 plus units. So I'm paying a higher per unit price by ordering just one instead of ordering multiple, like a you know, like a 4x4 shop or a van shop would have. I think they probably make them for, at least locally anyways, not necessarily for overlanders or van lifers, but probably more for like delivery drivers, businesses that want their Sprinter delivery vans to have more capacity, or maybe they you know, they get a bulk discount on diesel and they fuel up somewhere and they don't want their drivers to have to you know, stop and refuel as frequently. So that's probably what mostly they're for here in Europe. And yes, I am paying half the price of what these would have cost from Agile Off-Road, for example, in San Diego. They buy them from here and it has to be shipped all the way across the Atlantic and then driven all the way across North America to California. So there's a big cost involved there, and then also whatever the import tariffs are. You know, so it's not like Agile Off-Road is making double the money by reselling theirs. It's a lot of effort to get their tanks from here over to California. So they probably just make a few $100. So it's not like they're ripping you off. They're just, they have to sell it for whatever price they sell it for. Now on the other hand, are there companies that make extended fuel tanks in the US that they could have used? I don't know, maybe, but I'm not in that business, so I don't know, you know. And I trust these guys at Agile. They do really good work to have done their research. And also Nomadvanz in Vancouver, Canada, BC, they also do really good work. If they use these guys for their extended capacity, extended range fuel tanks, then I would assume, I would trust that these guys are the best, right? So maybe they are in the process of looking at other options to see if there's any other companies that make it closer to North America, but for the time being, these guys are the best, and I'm happy that I was able to work it out and have a unit ordered and made for me. But we gotta be back in 8 weeks. I just talked to the person that I'm working with here. He just got here about 30 minutes ago. We'll come back in 8 weeks, and he has contacted the local garage and asked them if they will do the install, which they'll do it for about 350 euros. And he is also gracious enough to go with us to the garage when we come back in the middle of September, because he said the guy at the garage doesn't speak any English. So, you know, he's gonna help us negotiate and translate and make sure everything goes smoothly. So, very excited about it. We're not getting it done today, obviously, because the tank's not ready. But I'm excited to have double the capacity. Probably close to double the range. Of course, it is yet another thing that's going to add some more weight to our van. I got to be a bit conscious about that. But just have the ability to hold more fuel. That's nice, without having to carry jerry cans, because that was going to be our other option. Is to haul a bunch of jerry cans around for extra fuel. And personally, I'd rather not do that. It makes our van bigger, longer, you know, it's a little bit more trouble, all those things. Came out of your hidey hole. How's your bee sting?
It's pumping.
You feel it on your head? Did you take some Tylenol?
I did, so.
Good.
We'll see.
You're smart to come back in here, twin. Very dangerous out there. Dogs, bees, trucks, people.
A bee?
One bee? There's probably more. If there's one bee, there's more than one.
What if the bee's super foul?
If you're sitting here, where am I gonna sit? Huh? Are you gonna drive?
Yes.